Hi everyone, so today I'm going to show you how I made this triple cube Christmas card. I've done one before for a triple cube but it was speeded up, so this one I'm going to actually try and show you how I made it. So it's a really cute little card, and I've used a Hunkydory collection, or Polar Bears Are Sleeping, called Christmas Cuties, and I believe this was free with orders a little while back, but it's so cute, little penguins, little deers. So I've just got one topper sheet, one of the cardstock sheets, and one sheet of the insert sheets. And now on top of that you're going to need a sheet of 12 by 12 white card. Now you don't have to use 12 by 12, you can use A4, you'll just need 2 pieces of it, so I just found 12 by 12 a bit easier. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is to make the main construction of the card, and to do that it's 3 separate pieces. There's one here which is 5 inches by 2.5 inches, and then there's 2 on the front that are 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. Okay, so to do that, because there's 4 sides, we're going to need to cut 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, and enough to join them together. So we want 10.5, 2 and 2.5, 5, 7.5, 10, and 2.5, and exactly the same on these. Okay, so that's the 3 bits cut. The next thing we need to do is to score these pieces. So if I bring my scoreboard, okay, see the top there, and like I said, each side is 2.5. So this one's the 5 piece, so we're going to score it 2.5, we're going to score it 5, we're going to score it 7.5, and we're going to score it 10. Okay, so we've got the 4 sides, and then we've got a tab here, and then we're going to repeat the same on the other 2. I have already done these, but you'll do exactly the same. So these are the 2.5s, and you'll score it 2.5, 5, 7.5, and 10. Okay, so then we do want to burnish these lines so that we get decent creases on them, because ultimately we want this cube card to fold flat, and without the burnished creases you'll find that it doesn't actually fold that flat. You can make this with any papers that you have. I do some lovely foil papers that you can foil and use, or any Hunkydory Christmas collections are perfect, because you get toppers, you get card, and you get inserts, and that's in essence what I've done here. Okay, so we've got our boxes. Now what's going to happen is we're going to stick them together, but you can see roughly how we're going to make this look now. Okay, there we go. So that's how your card's going to look. The only thing you need to consider when you're gluing these tabs is think about where's going to be visible from what you're looking at, because really you don't want people seeing your join, so you want to put it in a sort of less conspicuous place really. And that's it. So let's just glue these ones together. You can use double-sided tape if you want. I'm using Collal all-purpose glue. I like this glue, it gives you a lovely solid join. Now I also find that folding it flat you'll get a much better seal, because that's the idea of the card, that it does fold flat. So pull that little bit out of the way, put it in the glue, fold it flat, put that one on, press it down, bit more glue. Now this card's great because it looks complicated, but actually it's really quite easy to do, but we don't need to tell people that. Okay, so then we have our 3 parts of the card here. So we need to think about, like I said, where this join is. I don't know if you can see it, yeah, just about see it there, I think. The join here, so we want it where people aren't going to see it so much. So perhaps let's pop it there. So just pop some glue on the black. Again, you can use whatever glue you like. Like I said, I like the Collal because it does dry really solid and hard, and it doesn't cause your cardstock to bend because it's an alcohol based as opposed to a water based glue, so you don't get any buckling or anything like that in your card. So again, if we fold it flat, we know that when we actually have finished the card, the whole card itself is going to fall flat. Okay, now I won't press it too hard at the moment because it's still not quite dry, but you can see there you've got the main basis for your card. The next thing we need to do is to cut our panels to go on it. Okay, so I've used a couple of things for this. I've used a sheet of cardstock and I've used an insert sheet. There wasn't quite enough cardstock on one to get it how I wanted it. How you cut it is up to you, but you just need to maybe think about, so if you're using pattern cardstock that's got a design on it, like here, I used those ones with the line across the top. I've used the tree and the snow down the bottom and the sky on these ones. And then you'll see on the back we've got some insert paper as well. Now, when I cut this, I go down in 1/4 inch increments, so each of these layers is 1/4 inch smaller. So essentially that these are all going to be 2 1/4 inch squares, and this one is going to be 4 3/4 by 2 1/4. Okay, so I've gone ahead and cut all the pieces to stick onto our card blank. I've got 4 pieces here that are 2 1/4 by 4 3/4. I've got 2 pieces here that are 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. They're all cut from the insert sheet. And then here I've got 2, 4, 6, 8 pieces that are cut from the main thicker cardstock, which is Adorable Scoreable, and each of those is 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. Okay, so to stick it on the card, entirely up to you how you do it. I like to fold it down like this. You can stick them on before you stick it together, but to be honest, I find that if I do that, I'll more often than not get something up the wrong way, and so I just find it easier to stick them on when they're done. Now we need to think about our designs again, because so here for example I've got the 2 halves of the snowman. Well, if I stuck them around the other way, it's just gonna look a bit weird, so just think about where you're placing them when you glue them on, so that everyone sees the right thing. Okay, so those 2, these are the back 2, and again I've got the same issue because they're a string of lights, so actually they want to be that way round, otherwise it'll look a bit strange when the person opens their card. So that's one, and the other one. Okay, so that's the 2. Okay, so I've got 4 bits left. The 2 blue ones are going to be going on the middle bit here. So let's pop them on. And that's there. And this one. Let's pop the snowflake at the back. Yeah. Okay, so that's those 6 stuck down. Now we've got 2 that need to go in here, and 2 in there, 2 in here, and 2 on the back. So the last two of the thicker adorable scoreable are going to be my ones going in the back here. So let's pop them in. These are the ones where if you found it easier to add them on before you glued it together, you might find easier because you've got to sort of slide them in from the side, but really it's not that difficult because they're squares, so you've already cut them to size. And the other one. Okay, so get that one in there and get it straight. Right, so that's all those ones in there from the adorable squirrel. Now we've got the ones that I cut from the insert to go. So I've got the two smaller ones and they're just going to go on the base here. I quite like them because they're, so in theory the bottom's snag, and I did think about leaving it white, but it just didn't look quite right. So these inserts work great because they're a sort of more muted version of what's on top of them here. So let's move that on. Let's put that one in there and this one in here. You don't have to fill all these gaps in, it's entirely up to you, but personally, that's not straight. Personally, I much prefer it to be for them all to be filled in. Just track what I'm doing here. There we go. Okay, so that's all those bits stuck on. Then I've got the 4 here. 2 I cut were from the pattern bin, and those 2 I plan on putting on the outside. Again, think about your placement, because if I'd done what I just did, you'd have 2 halves of the snowman around the wrong way, whereas this way he actually just goes around the bend, so that works great. Pop him on. Okay, and the other half of him. I felt a bit tight cutting this snowman in half, which is strange because it's only a bit of paper, but I did feel guilty. But it's the only way I could get the 2 halves to fit, so let's pop that one on there. So we can then just go around the bend like that. Then we just have these 2 left, which are going to go on the inside here. And again, these are 2 that it possibly is easier to stick on before you glue it together. But like I said, I tend to get things up the wrong way. And it does just slide down. Wouldn't work with double-sided tape because you'd have to get it in precisely the right place first time, and you're not going to do that. So if you're going to do it the way I'm doing it, you want some sort of wet glue. Like I said, I'm using the Kalal all-purpose, which is, actually I've got a massive bottle of it here, and then I've just dispensed it into a smaller applicator bottle so that I can put it on. It's a bit big to do that. I do like the Kalal glue. It's got a funny smell, but you seem to get a bit used to it. Right, so that's all those bits stuck on. Now the last bit to do is to take our add our embellishments on. Now you'll see on here I found that this sleigh here, you see, move that one away. This sleigh here actually works perfectly because when you stand it up, the deer looks like he's stood up on the top of this box, and it just looks really effective, but it still folds flat. So I really liked how that worked. So let's get him out. Now it's up to you how you get them out. You can cut them out so you don't get the pips. It's a bit harder when they're things like this. I've got to be very careful. I don't want to be breaking his antlers. This was the trickiest one to get out, but once I've got this one out, all the others were okay. So it is a little bit fatter. Okay, so that's that one. What else are we going to use? We're going to use this sack. Some extra presents. Some more presents on here somewhere. This one there. And one here. The happy little snowman. I absolutely love this little chap. Isn't he cute? And I did have an extra deer on that, but I'm not sure I'm going to need it. I use this one on the top as well. And the Happy Christmas. And the other little penguin. Okay, let's see how we get on with those. Right, so it's so simple to stick them on. Because I want him to go round, I'm actually just going to glue this section of him. I'm going to leave this deer freestanding, so he'll stand up on the rooftop. So we just stick him on there like so. And then you can see, like, he just stands on the rooftop, but he'll fold him flat. So that's all there is to him. And then let's pop our presents on for Santa's sack. One, like that, I think. These are lovely, these little die cuts, and like I said, I'm sure it was free with orders. I don't remember when, but so I'm not sure if it's available to buy, but you can check it out on Hunkydory's website, see what they've got. They do loads of different Christmas toppers, which are all quite effective. Okay, and then let's just pop this one on here, just to give a point of interest. And then our happy little penguin. I think I'll stick him on there. Having fun. And now this one, if you see on here, if you can see, it's a bit difficult to show you. I've actually stuck them in the middle so it hides this seam down here. I quite like how that works. Now to do that though, what I like to do is put a score line. Give me a minute. It's a great scoreboard, this. However, it's big, but I use it for absolutely everything. This black line here wasn't on the board when you get it. I've just done it so that I can get the straight line going down. Now this one we want to make sure we get out the right way, so crease down that one. There we go. So then if I bring these back in, I can get my fingers in. This one at the top. And the same with the little penguin. Put some glue on him. bend him and slot him in as well. And this penguin. I'm sure there's probably an easy way of doing this. So you can actually see what you're doing. Well, that would work. That's better if I fold it like that. So I can get half on where I want it. And then when I put it around this way, I can squash them all down. Okay, so you can see our card folds flat. Just like that, and then we'll open it up, and I don't know how to show you the best. So like that. We've got our lovely little cue card, our little reindeer on the top, and our happy little penguins playing on the front, and little Santa. So ever so simple to make. Yeah. Looks really effective. So there we go. So that's all for now, and happy creating. Okay, thank you.